The call came on a Tuesday morning. Unknown number. County area code. Ms. Chin? This is Robert Martinez from the County Tax Assessor's office. We need to discuss the homestead exemption filed on 847 Willow Creek Drive. My address. My house. The 3-bedroom craftsman I'd bought 6 years ago with money I'd saved working 60-hour weeks as a hospital administrator. I didn't file for a homestead exemption, I said carefully. Pause on the other end. The sound of papers shuffling. According to our records, Margaret and David Chin filed in 2019. They've been receiving the exemption for 5 years. Annual tax reduction of $3,200. Total benefit, $16,000. My parents. Of course. They don't live there, I said. They live in Scottsdale. They've lived in Scottsdale since 2015. More shuffling. The application lists 847 Willow Creek as their primary residence. They provided utility bills, a lease agreement, and a notarized affidavit of occupancy. I closed my office door. Mr. Martinez, I own that house. Sole owner. My name is on the deed, the mortgage, every utility bill. I've lived there since I purchased it in 2018. I see. His voice shifted, professional curiosity becoming professional concern. Miss Chin, I'm going to need you to come to my office. Bring your deed, mortgage statements, and utility bills for the past 5 years. Can you do Thursday at 2 p.m.? The ghost ledger. That night, I sat at my kitchen table. My table in my house that I'd somehow been sharing on paper with people who lived 400 miles away, and tried to calculate the real cost. The $4,000 they loaned me for the down payment in 2018. They mentioned it at every holiday, every birthday, every phone call. We helped you buy that house. As if $4,000 on a $340,000 purchase made them co-owners. The keys I'd given them for emergencies. They'd used them twice when I was traveling for work. Once to check on things. Once to water your plants. Both times I'd returned to find furniture rearranged, my mail opened, my bedroom closet mysteriously reorganized. The casual comments about my house being the family investment. About how when we retire and move back we'll need somewhere to stay. About my resistance to their visits being selfish and ungrateful. Every time I'd set a boundary, no, you can't stay for 3 weeks. No, you can't use my address for your mail. No, you can't list my house as your residence on your insurance. I was difficult. I was forgetting who helped me. The cost wasn't $16,000 in fraudulent tax exemptions. The cost was 6 years of believing I owed them my autonomy because they'd written one check. Thursday arrived. Robert Martinez's office smelled like old filing cabinets and burnt coffee. He was 50-something, methodical, the kind of bureaucrat who'd probably caught more fraud through sheer attention to detail than any investigator. I spread my documents across his desk. Deed with my name only. Mortgage statements. Every single payment from my bank account. Utility bills spanning 6 years. My employment records showing my work address 10 minutes from Willow Creek Drive. He examined each document with the care of someone reading a medical chart. Your parents, he said finally, submitted a lease agreement showing they rent the property from you for $1,500 monthly. Did you ever receive rental income? No. Because they don't live there. I live there. He pulled out their homestead application. I'd never seen it before. My mother's handwriting, neat, confident, precise on every line. Primary residence, 847 Willow Creek Drive. Occupancy date, January 2018. Monthly rent paid to owner, $1,500. She'd forged a lease. She'd forged utility bills by scanning mine and changing the names in Photoshop. She'd created an entire paper trail of residency. They claimed they've lived here since before I even bought it, I said, my voice hollow. Martinez nodded slowly. The homestead exemption requires primary residence. You can only claim it on one property. Your parents also own a home in Scottsdale, correct? Yes. A 4-bedroom house they bought in 2015. Where they actually live. He made a note. So they claimed homestead exemption on your property while maintaining their actual residence elsewhere. That's tax fraud. State and federal. The room tilted slightly. What happens now? I'll need to verify their Scottsdale residency. If confirmed, we'll revoke the exemption retroactively. They'll owe $16,000 in back taxes plus penalties, probably $24,000 total. We'll also refer the case to the district attorney's office for prosecution. Internal reflection. The mathematics of entitlement. My parents weren't poor. Dad had retired from a software company with a full pension. Mom had sold her boutique for a comfortable profit. They lived in a golf community with a pool. But they'd discovered what I call the entitlement equation. Small investment times constant reminder equals infinite leverage. $4,000 became the down payment that bought my house. Never mind my $68,000 in savings. Never mind my 780 credit score. Never mind my 6 years of mortgage payments totaling $147,000. They'd found the magic number that let them claim ownership without responsibility, benefit without cost, authority without consent. And when I'd pushed back, when I'd said no to their month-long visits, no to storing their furniture in my garage, no to letting them use my address for their business ventures, I wasn't setting boundaries. I was forgetting the $4,000. The tax fraud wasn't opportunistic. It was ideological. They genuinely believed that helping me meant owning me. That financial assistance created permanent debt. That my house, my credit, my income, my equity, was theirs to leverage because they'd participated in my success. I'd been trying to buy my independence for 6 years. But you can't buy freedom from people who believe your success belongs to them. Procedural justice. The audit. Martinez's investigation took 6 weeks. I watched it unfold with the grim satisfaction of someone finally seeing the receipts. Week 1 to 2. Documentation review. Martinez requested 5 years of records. Property tax payments, all from my account. Homeowner's insurance, my name, my payments. HOA fees, my checks. Mortgage interest statements, my social security number. Voter registration, my address since 2018. Parents registered in Scottsdale since 2015. Week 3. Utility cross-reference. Electric, gas, water, internet. Every utility in my name paid from my account. Martinez subpoenaed my parents' Scottsdale utilities. Same pattern there. 2 households, both active, both consuming resources. They hadn't just claimed my house. They'd maintained the fiction while actively living elsewhere. Week 4. Financial records. Bank statements showed my mortgage payments. No rental income ever deposited. No $1,500 monthly transfers. The lease agreement they'd submitted was pure fiction. Martinez also discovered they'd used my address on their Arizona state tax returns, claiming temporary relocation to reduce their tax burden. My house had become their phantom residence for tax purposes in 2 states. Week 5. Neighborhood canvas. Martinez interviewed my neighbors. Mrs. Patterson next door. Never seen any older couple. Just Rachel. She brings in my trash cans when I'm visiting my daughter. The mail carrier. Only 1 resident. Rachel Chin. No forwarding for any other names. My HOA president. Rachel's been the only resident since 2018. We'd know if her parents lived there. We'd track occupancy for parking permits. Week 6. Final report. Martinez's report was 34 pages. His conclusion appeared on page 2. Margaret and David Chin filed fraudulent homestead exemption claims on property they do not own, occupy, or have any legal interest in. Evidence indicates premeditated fraud spanning 5 years, resulting in $16,000 in improper tax benefits. Criminal referral recommended. The district attorney's office moved faster than I expected. Apparently, homestead fraud was their priority. Too many people gaming the system, too much revenue lost. The DA offered my parents a choice. Pay restitution plus penalties, $24,000, perform 200 hours of community service and accept 3 years probation, or face trial for tax fraud with potential jail time. Mom called me. Not to apologize. To explain. We helped you with that house. We had a right to some benefit. The tax system is complicated. Everyone does this. No, I said quietly. Everyone doesn't forge documents and commit fraud. You're going to let them prosecute us? Over a misunderstanding. You filed false claims for 5 years, Mom. You forged a lease. You stole $16,000 from the county. That's not a misunderstanding. That house wouldn't exist without our $4,000. And there was the core belief, the unshakable foundation of their entitlement. Mom, I'm not discussing this. Your lawyer can handle it from here. You'd really do this to your own parents? I thought about Martinez's report. 34 pages documenting their systematic fraud. Neighbor interviews. Utility records. Bank statements. The weight of evidence assembled by someone who didn't know us, didn't care about family dynamics, only cared about facts. You did this to yourselves, I said. I'm just the address you chose to steal. I hung up. Consequences. The cascading collapse. They took the plea deal. $24,000 paid in 6 installments. 200 hours at a non-profit tax preparation service, helping low-income families file returns correctly, which I'm sure felt appropriately ironic to the judge. 3 years probation. 1 conviction on their record, filing false document for tax benefit. But the collateral damage spread further. Their Scottsdale Homestead exemption was audited. Turns out they'd been claiming that simultaneously. Another $11,000 in penalties. Their accountant, who'd apparently known about both exemptions, lost 3 clients and faced a professional ethics review. The retirement community they lived in had strict rules about legal issues. The HOA board requested they attend a hearing. They sold the house 6 months later and moved to a cheaper area. Dad's consulting work dried up. Background checks started flagging the conviction. Tax fraud looked particularly bad for someone advising on financial systems. Mom stopped posting on Facebook. Her last post before going silent. A vague statement about family betrayal and ungrateful children. 12 people liked it. 400 ignored it. The ledger closes. 2 years later I refinanced my house. The appraiser commented on how well-maintained everything was. You can tell someone really cares about this place, he said. I do. It's mine. Not theirs. Not a shared investment. Not family property. The property tax bill arrives quarterly. I pay it from my account. My name. My address. My house. I never cashed their $4,000 check. I found it in my files while organizing documents for Martinez. 6 years old, never deposited. I'd bought the house with my own money and forgotten about their contribution entirely. I framed it. It hangs in my office now above my desk. A reminder of the cost of small debts. They wanted to leverage $4,000 into ownership. Instead, they leveraged it into $35,000 in penalties, probation, and a permanent record. They wanted to claim my house as theirs. Instead, they proved it was always mine. The tax assessor's audit didn't just catch fraud. It documented the truth. I bought this house. I paid for this house. I own this house. They helped with the down payment, they said. So they qualified. But the county records told a different story. 1 owner. 1 resident. 1 person who'd built something real. And 2 people who'd tried to steal it with paperwork and lies. The assessor noticed. The system worked. The ledger closed. And my house, my actual legal documented house, remains exactly what it's always been.